be actually today we will choose a song also from Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and it is I don't think it's in our songs of the Vaishnavacharyas, but it's a common song that many devotees sing. We will look at Amar Jivana. Amar Jivana Sarapape Rata. So this song is in Sharanagati, and we remember Sharanagati has 6 different aspects, and the first aspect of Sharanagati is humility. And so this song, Amar Jivana, this will focus on Vaishnav mood of humility. There is the verse from Bhaktivinoda Thakur where he's kind of he's making his poetry kind of related to the verse Trinadapi Sunichena. He's saying like, feeling myself lower than the straw in the street, and welcoming the quality of forbearance into my heart, giving honor to all living beings. When will I taste the essence of the liquid nectar of the name? So this mood of Vaishnav humility, we will hear about that today in a very strong way. But I think this is healthy for us. We should review this, and we should meditate about this. Okay, so will someone volunteer to read this? Yes, Shamrani, you can go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Just 1 minute. Okay. My eyesight is not the best, but I'm going to give it a
shot. You can have someone else read if you like. No.
Okay, I'm going to go for it, right?
Sure.
Okay, my life is ever given. I'm reading the English, right?
Yes.
Okay, my life is ever given to sin. In it, there is not a particle of good. I have caused others great anxiety and have troubled all souls. For the sake of my own enjoyment, I have never hesitated to perform sinful acts. Devoid of all compassion, I am concerned only with my selfish interests. Perpetually speaking lies, I become dejected upon seeing others happy, whereas the misery of others is a source of great delight for me. Wow. There are limitless material desires within the core of my heart. I am wrathful, fond of exhibiting arrogance, intoxicated by vanity, and bewildered by worldly affairs. I wear the cherished ornaments of envy and egotism. Ruined by laziness and sleep, I resist all pious deeds, yet am very enthusiastic to perform wicked acts. For the sake of worldly fame and reputation, I engage in the practice of deceitfulness. I am victimized by my own greed, being always lustful. A vile, wicked man such as this, rejected by godly people, is a constant offender, devoid of all good works, forever inclined toward evil. He is worn out and wasted by various miseries. Now, in old age, deprived of all means of relief, thus humbled and poor, Bhakti Vinod submits his tale of grief at the feet of the Supreme Lord.
Yes. Very heavy mood. Very heavy mood. Hey, Sudanand and Prabhu, you also volunteered. Why don't you read this also?
My life is ever given to sin. In it there is not a particle of good. I have caused others great anxiety and have troubled all souls. For the sake of my own enjoyment, I have never hesitated to perform sinful acts. Devoid of all compassion, I'm concerned only with my selfish interest. Perpetually speaking lies, I become dejected upon seeing others happy, whereas the misery of others is a source of great delight for me. Zero limitless material desires within the core of my heart. I am wrathful, fond of exhibiting arrogance, intoxicated by vanity, and bewildered by worldly affairs. I wear the cherished ornaments of envy and egotism. Ruined by laziness and sleep, I resist all pious deeds, yet am very enthusiastic to perform wicked acts. For the sake of worldly fame and reputation, I engage in the practice of deceitfulness. I am victimized by my own greed, being always lustful. A vile wicked man such as this, rejected by godly people, is a constant offender, devoid of all goods, forever inclined toward evil. He is worn out and wasted by various miseries. Now in old age, deprived of all means of relief, thus humbled and poor, Bhaktivinoda submits his tale of grief at the feet of the Supreme Lord. Wow.
Haribol?
Yes,
Yeah,
Prabhu.
we have
I'm
just
sorry.
that.
I
Some
think
It
some
got cut
connection.
off.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think some connection problem.
Okay. Hey, Bhumi had their hand up. Bhumi, would you like to say something or ask something?
No, Hare Krishna Prabhu. In fact, I just wanted to read a bit. So it's
Oh,
okay if I can
I
read
will
if you want to continue.
I will engage you in reading later. Okay?
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Yes. So what a strong mood in this bhajan. But anyway, a very powerful cry from the standpoint of absolute humility. And I think meditating on this is very healthy for us. And yeah, let's look at this carefully. So let's please repeat. I will just speak phrase by phrase, and you can unmute your mic so that we can hear as it goes. Okay, please repeat. My life is ever given to sin.
My life
My
is ever
life is
given to
ever given to
sin.
sin.
In it, there is not a particle of good.
In it,
In it,
there is not a
there is not a
particle of
particle of good.
I have caused others great anxiety
I
I
have
have
caused others
caused
great
others great
anxiety
anxiety
and have troubled all souls.
and have
and
and
have
have
troubled
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 all
all
souls.
souls.
Good. Okay, I will read, and this time we will repeat silently in our mind. The idea of doing this, like as a meditation, we want to focus our consciousness. Sometimes when we read, a little bit it goes in one ear, out the other. Even when we repeat, we can do this mechanically. But when we repeat in the mind, then there's hope that we have to be attentive. That when our mind is speaking, then it's difficult to be completely oblivious to what the mind is speaking. So we will do the same thing. We will repeat phrase by phrase, and I would like you to repeat each phrase in your mind 3 times. And try to like absorb the message, absorb the wisdom, being very attentive attentive to what Bhaktivinoda Thakur is speaking. I am not giving the class. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is giving this class. He is preaching something to us, and I want us all to listen to this as attentively as possible. So again, I will read this phrase by phrase, and we will all repeat it in our mind 3 times, trying to be as attentive as possible. My life is ever given to sin. In it, there is not a particle of good. I have caused others great anxiety. And have troubled all souls. Okay, Yasodhananan, can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhu, we can hear you.
Yes,
Okay.
Prabhu, I can hear you. I'm sorry for the connection problem. I think there's a connection issue.
Okay. Okay, Bhumi, are you able to hear me? If you're able to hear me, then please read the first stanza.
Yes, Prabhu.
So what we just repeated, you can read that again. Number 1.
My life is ever given to sin. In it there is not a particle of good. I have caused others great anxiety and have troubled all souls.
Yes, very strong, very heavy. So I'd like to hear some reflections about this. You know, how can we think about this? How do you understand this? And why is this the mood of Vaishnavism? How can this help us cultivate devotion? And how can this help us in our approach to the chanting of the holy name? Anyone have any thoughts about this? Or just any general comments or thoughts, realization? Sure, Mataji, go ahead, Shamar.
I think it's always good for us to know that we have these we are afflicted by all of this. That's in the first verse. It's good to have that mood, because if we have that mood to know that we have difficulties, then there's always room for improvement. And if we think that we have never committed sin, or if we are great and we got no difficulties to resolve, if we think whatever we do, we don't cause any anxiety to anybody, that our words, thought, deed, actions, they are perfect, and it doesn't affect others, then we will remain as we are, and we will just think that we are good enough, and we will have no enthusiasm and drive to actually become more better, because everybody has a potential to be much better. And the only way we can reach that potential is if we know how little we are and how less Like we don't have to be too difficult on ourselves also, but it's good to have a mood that we always have room for improvement.
That was a great comment. Thank you so much. Yes. Some more thoughts, reflections? You know, I'm just thinking, my life is ever given to sin. You know, sometimes in Krishna consciousness, we're thinking like, hey, I'm not doing so bad. Krishna, Krishna will, I, woke up for Mangalartik and I chanted my 16 rounds and, I kind of did a few things today that maybe Krishna will be happy with. But actually, any separation from the Lord is sinful. And if we'll compare ourselves, maybe like to our immediate surroundings, we're thinking like, yeah, I'm kind of pretty devotional, right? But if we'll compare ourselves to the great souls, then how can we think like that we are anybody? Actually, our existence, our mentality, our behavior is very fallen. And this very heavy line, he says, I have troubled all souls. I mean, if we think we've been in this material world since time immemorial, I know in this life I have so many regrets. I said the wrong thing. I mistreated that person. This person got hurt. This person got upset. Even that's what I'm aware of. I did that. Like before I joined Krishna consciousness, I was born in a meat-eating family. How much like horrible suffering I inflicted on just other innocent souls. I don't even know them. Like I ate meat. That's like so abominable. So just think, even just carelessly, or like in our modern society, just things that we take for granted. We're filling our car with petrol and we're consuming different things, and so many people may have to suffer even just for ordinary things that we take for granted, just so we can live in this world for our sense gratification, basically, mostly, with like little Krishna consciousness kind of there on the side. They were giving so much trouble to others. I think it is not that this verse doesn't apply. I think we just have to think how it's actually true. And it's like, it's very heavy, and it really will make us feel like Shamarani said, like, wow, we have to really improve ourselves. I'm really fallen. I really, really need the Lord's mercy. A few things I'm thinking about. Maybe some other comments, some other thoughts? This whole bhajan will be like this, so maybe it gets even more heavy, actually. We should hear at least one more person. Maybe Rasika Chandra Prabhu, you have any thoughts about this? Or if you're not available, maybe Yasodanandan Prabhu can speak? Or anybody else? Yasoda Mataji, have any thoughts? No. No thoughts?
All I can say is that the bhajan is most likely to be focused on humility.
Right. Yes, we're focusing on that. We're focused, very, very core, central, important thing to focus on. Rasika Chandra Prabhu, sorry, you were there. Please say something.
Yes, Prabhu. This gives us thought that if we don't practice Krishna consciousness, we'll be like forced to do all these things, because
Wow.
you have to act in this life. So if we are not Krishna conscious, every act we do will give trouble to someone else. If I eat fish, I have to kill a fish. If I have to move upward on the ladder, I have to pull down someone down. So it will always be like troubling others, and our life will be filled with such things. And that's for sure. We will be a great cause of anxiety for other living entities. Not only us, but even to our family members. By our act, we can like put them in great anxiety. But a practicing Krishna conscious person, even not well advanced, at least think about these things, and we can like practice and be as least as possible troubling to others. And that I have experienced in my own life, that it's not good to trouble others. And the good thing is that the more you trouble others, the troubles come back to you like a boomerang. The more you give anxiety to others, the anxiety come back to you as a boomerang. And that's why practicing Krishna consciousness is peaceful, because we don't give troubles and anxieties and other misdeeds to others. And this is possible only in Krishna consciousness, a spiritual activity.
Great comment, Rasika Chandra. Thank you so much. That was very, very nice. Yes, Yasoda, please.
Yes, Prabhu, Hare Krishna. So I was thinking that through our action, we can affect so many people in many ways that sometimes we are even unknown of. Like we do something, someone is hurt, we don't realize it on time. Maybe afterwards we realize. But then there are so many things that we do that impact others negatively. Then I'm thinking that such situations, sometimes we don't know, like afterwards we will come to know of it. So I was thinking of what Srila Prabhupada said, that if you pour water on the root of the tree, then all the branches, the leaves, the twigs, they will all be nourished. Like if you are seriously practicing Krishna consciousness, you are serving Krishna, then like indirectly we are serving everyone else. So maybe if we become like really serious in our Krishna consciousness practice, then the effect that we are causing anxiety to others and distress to others will be reduced. Maybe. That's true.
Very, very nice. Thank you so much. Very nice. Okay, let's continue. Hey, Bhumi Mataji, can you please read the second stanza, number 2? If you are there. Okay, I will read. Oh, are you there? Please go ahead.
Haribol?
Yes, please read number 2.
Yeah. For the sake of my own enjoyment, I have never hesitated to perform sinful acts. Devoid of all compassion, I am concerned only with my selfish interests. Perpetually speaking lies, I become dejected upon seeing others happy, whereas the misery of others is a source of great delight for me.
Yes, Rasika Chandra Prabhu, did you want to speak something?
Let me reflect on it.
Yeah. Okay. After we will discuss this in just a minute. Just I want to do a few exercises. Again, please repeat. Okay. So I will read section by section, and you all please repeat first by speaking. For the sake of my own enjoyment, I have never hesitated to perform sinful acts.
For the
For the
sake of
sake of
my
For the
my
own
own
sake of
enjoyment,
my
enjoyment,
own
I
enjoyment,
have
have
never
I have
hesitated to
never
perform
hesitated
sinful
to perform
acts.
sinful acts.
Devoid of all compassion, I am concerned only with my selfish interests.
Devoid
devoid
of
of
Devoid
all
all
of
compassion,
compassion,
all
I
I
am
am
compassion,
concerned
concerned
with
only
my
with my
concerned
own,
only with my
with my
selfish
selfish
interest.
interests.
Perpetually speaking lies, I become dejected upon seeing others happy.
Perpetually
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 speaking
speaking lies.
lies,
speaking
I
lies,
become
I
I
become
dejected
become
I
dejected
become
upon
upon
seeing
dejected
seeing
others
others
upon
happy.
happy.
seeing others happy.
Whereas the misery of others is a source of great delight for me.
Whereas
Whereas
the
Whereas
the
the
misery
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 of
Whereas
of
the
of
others
misery
others
of
others
is
is
others
the
is a
source of
is a
source
great
of
source of
delight.
great
great
delight for
delight
me.
for me.
Okay, now we will again repeat each phrase 3 times in the mind. For the sake of my own enjoyment, I have never hesitated to perform sinful acts. Devoid of all compassion, I am concerned only with my selfish interests. Perpetually speaking lies, I become dejected upon seeing others happy. Whereas the misery of others is a source of great delight for me. Yes. So, um, would someone like to speak something? Any thoughts about this? I will start something. I think Rasika Chandra Prabhu, he actually nailed the point, which is that without Krishna consciousness, then we are doomed for this condition of life, like great selfishness, performing sin without any hesitation, lacking compassion. I'll do for my sense gratification, like Srila Prabhupada says, the nature of rakshasas is they will do anything for their sense gratification, never mind what pain we have to cause to anybody else. like even I have to enslave others, others have to feel tortured and abused. It's okay as long as I get my sense gratification. This is like a kind of materialistic mentality. And I think if we will like analyze ourselves, we see like, yeah, actually it's true. I am guilty of this. Um, perpetually speaking lie, like in my own life, someone like an old friend, I felt very betrayed by that person, and it's difficult to get it out of my mind. It's difficult for me to see it from a higher platform of consciousness, and I have some resentment to that person, and I'm also thinking, I don't want them to be happy. I want them to get their reaction for this. I want them to suffer for this. They should not have done this. So like I see how that mentality is in my mind, and it's such a toxic poison, and I really don't want it to be there. But because I'm not very Krishna conscious, it's so difficult for me to transcend that. Anyway, those are a few comments. I could maybe keep blabbering on and on, but anybody else has any thoughts to share?
If I may, Prabhu, um, I was thinking that, the great acharyas, if you look at all their bhajans, like I think for the first one I missed, but the last one we did and this one, you're not finding that they are saying it's not saying what others have done to me. It's not from the viewpoint of how others impact on us. It's always coming back to how we and our actions, it's all about us. And because in essence, it really is about us, and how, because only we can change ourselves, and only we can improve ourselves. We cannot look at and say this person have done this and this person have done this, and pick on all the things that's impacting you, but you have to bring it back to ourselves and look what we are doing, because nothing that we can do could really change another person, but only the things that we do for ourselves can change us, and that's where the real change can come. So this is a one thing I'm noticing, that they're really making us look at ourselves to really polish ourselves up.
Very nice comment. Very true. It's right. Like one great Vaishnavi said, it is not enough to blame the other person because they're not Krishna conscious enough, or I blame them that I'm not Krishna conscious. We can only blame ourselves for our lack of Krishna consciousness. Actually, I and Prabhu would speak like that. Very true. We can only blame ourselves. Sorry, Rasika Chanda Prabhu, can you speak something?
I wanted to speak about the story of Dhruva Maharaj. Because if you're not a devotee, you cannot change yourself from this kind of thoughts and like our way of thinking will never change if you are not a devotee. We'll never even think about my way of thinking is giving pain to others. But if you are a devotee and someone tells you, you can understand and you can correct yourself. So I was thinking about Dhruva Maharaj when his brother was killed, and he went to fight with the killers and was trying to disseminate the whole population. I've forgotten the party against whom he was fighting against, and you know that, I know. And when he was fighting, he even like forgot his Kshatriya principles, and he even tried to kill others who were running away. So he forgot everything. But when Brahmaji came and spoke to him, it's not good, he stopped, because he was a devotee and he could realize at the time that what I'm doing is not good. So these things can be rectified only by someone who has a background of Krishna consciousness. Then we can rectify ourselves. This is my first point. And second point is that just continuing on what Mataji said, if we develop such a mood, we will avoid blasphemy to other devotees or other entities. And when we develop such a mood, our path towards moving forward in Krishna consciousness becomes smoothened, because we will eliminate the greatest obstacle in our spiritual life, it is blasphemy. So these are my thoughts, that if we don't blame others, if I blame myself, there will no fight. I will not go to someone and tell him that it's because of you I'm here, I'm like this. No, I will think that because of me, that person is having such a misery. So compassion will develop, and fight will be eliminated. And more importantly, our blaspheming mind will be curbed. So,
Wow, what a nice sadhu sangha. Rasika Chandra Prabhu, I love it. Your comments are beautiful. Very, very sweet. Thank you so much. Very good insights.
Prabhu, I just wanted to add that we are very, very grateful to you, because if it's not you, never go through these words. First of all, we never sang these bhajans. They are so beautiful, and I wanted to I have practiced the last kirtan, and I try to grasp the tunes. Because when you sing it properly, then you try to understand the meanings. But if you don't sing it, there are so many bhajans, the songbooks, but we don't go to this and read it because we can't sing it. So when we sing it, then you develop the wish to go and read the meanings, and and the way you are or explaining the meanings, it's really good. It's very enriching. We can absorb in the mood. Thank you, Prabhu.
I'm so grateful for how you're explaining the meanings. You're also giving very nice insights. I love your comment that if we have this mood of humility, then we can be protected from blaspheming others. And as soon as we become a little proud of our position, that's when we start to criticize. But if we stay on this very low level and consider ourselves very low, very fallen, this is very important to avoid blaspheming devotees. That is a beautiful, great point, Prabhu. So you explained that. That was a great explanation. I'm also enjoying this class so much, because just like spending time reflecting with devotees, you hear new angles of vision. You know, every devotee, they have, like Prabhupada said, you can discuss things from different angles of vision in Krishna consciousness. So we all have a little bit our own angle from our life experience, from what we heard, the classes that we heard, the people we associated with, just our own style of mind. So it's very, very enriching, actually, to speak about this. I'm also feeling enriched doing this. I'm not doing anything, I just want to take our time going through these very valuable devotional prayers, because I think they're very at the center. Like I said in the first class, I saw instructions from Bhakti Siddhanta. He said, this book Sharanagati, like this prayer is Bhaktivinoda Thakur, it's from Sharanagati. He said, this Sharanagati, this is the topic that the devotee should discuss. This is the subject matter for, that we should contemplate and think about and discuss. He said like this. And other great devotees, they're also following that. They're putting their mind into this. It's very nourishing. Anyway, sorry for that. Yeah.
And this, Prabhu, and this give us an indication of what is sadhu sangha. Because if I read these meanings by my own, I'm sure that these thoughts will not come to my mind. So when we discuss amongst devotees, so many things come in our mind, many positive things, positive thinkings come in our mind, and then we can ponder about them. And this is how, if we remain like this often, I'm sure that even our way of doing kirtan will change positively.
This is what we want to improve, not just musical, but devotional, our mindset. We want our mindset to improve also.
Yeah, like simultaneously we have the words in our mouth and the meanings in our thought. Both.
Right. Both. Nice.
Not only
nice.
the words, not only the words and the tunes, but the thought and the moods of the charyas.
Nice.
Then I think then you will relish the kirtan very much.
Right. Very true. Very true. Thank you, Prabhu. Maybe anyone else has something to share, especially on this second stanza? Yes, Yasodhanandan Prabhu, please speak something.
Bro, while reading this verse, I was you made me remember about Prabhupada's sister, Pishima. She used to carry like a small bottle of water wherever she goes. And once I was listening to a class of Govinda Maharaj, and Maharaj was saying that she used to use that bottle of water like to whenever she sits, and when she like she's getting up from that, she's moving, she will clean that place, because she thinks that she's dirty and so on, and she will clean that place.
Wow. What a great expression of Vaishnava humility. Amazing.
And even while I was reading the Kirtan Revolution for Ainda Prabhu, I was even reading some of the pastimes when he was ill and he wouldn't even let others serve him. He was like, there was one instant when he was like ill, and they were like giving him I think electrolytes, and while they were pouring that in the water, he was like a bit. He was said, no, 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 please don't do that. He didn't let anyone to serve him personally.
Wow. Yes, I don't remember if it is in the book, but I had a story like that. He was like, I asked him, is there any service I can do for you? He was completely exhausted after his service that day. And so I said, Prabhu, is there any service I can do for you? And he said, well, who's to say that I am such a pure vessel that if you do any service for me, that will be counted by Krishna? If there's any impurity in me, then accepting your service will be my own sense gratification, and so I should never accept your service. He said something like that. It's a very strong comment. That's very nice. Thank you. Thank you. Any other thoughts or comments, or should we go to the next? Actually, time is moving a little bit. Any other thoughts on this one? Rasika Chandra Prabhu, you have any thoughts about this?
Just one thing, that this is a sign of great devotees, because it is said that when you advance further in devotionals, in your devotional path, the more you advance, the more dejected you feel yourself, the more undevotional you think yourself. And I think Bhaktivinoda Thakur is not just doing this for our sake. Actually, he's feeling like that because he's a great Vaishnava, and he feels like that from the core of his heart. Whereas us, we think ourselves like great people, great devotees, because we have so many impurities in our heart.
Well said, well spoken. Yes, that is my understanding also. The great devotees, they're not putting on a show of this humility. They feel this humility. And again, we see in like in Chaitanya Charitamrita, so many stories we know the greatest
Sanatana
devotee.
Goswami.
Yes, 6 Goswamis, Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami. They're speaking like unbelievably humble. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was saying, your humility is breaking my heart. It's like so heart-touching that these amazing people with so many great qualifications that they think like very low of themselves. Okay, let's read the third stanza. Bhumi, are you there? If you'd like, you can read the third stanza for us. Anyway, maybe people are a little busy. It's okay.
I can read it too.
Okay, please read, Prabhu.
There are limitless material desires within the core of my heart. I am wrathful, fond of exhibiting arrogance, intoxicated by vanity, and bewildered by worldly affairs. I was the cherished ornaments of envy and egotism.
Wow. Okay, I will just read phrase by phrase. Please repeat. There are limitless material desires within the core of
There are
my
limitless material desires
Desires within for
There are limitless material desires within the core of my heart.
within the core.
I am wrathful, fond of exhibiting arrogance,
I
I
am
I am
am
I
wrathful,
am
fond of
wrathful, fond
exhibiting
of exhibiting
arrogance,
arrogance,
intoxicated by vanity and bewildered by worldly affairs.
intoxicated
intoxicated
by
by
vanity
vanity,
intoxicated by
and
vanity,
bewildered
bewildered
by
by
and
worldly
worldly
bewildered by
affairs.
worldly
affairs.
affairs.
I wear the cherished ornaments of envy and egotism.
I
I
wear
I
the
wear
wear
the
the
cherished
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 ornaments
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 of
and
of
envy and
envy
egotism.
and
egotism.
egotism.
Okay, now let's concentrate. Repeat each phrase 3 times in the mind. There are limitless material desires within the core of my heart. I am wrathful, fond of exhibiting arrogance, intoxicated by vanity, and bewildered by worldly affairs. I wear the cherished ornaments of envy and egotism. Yes. Well, I definitely can relate to all these anarthas. I definitely feel like I can see myself in every phrase of what he just said. Anyone, and some discussion, some thoughts about this?
Prabhu, while
Yes,
while
Prabhu,
reading
go on.
this stanza, it made me remember about one personality in the Bhagavatam about King Vena. He was like that. All all these characteristics reflect King Vena. He was like that.
Yes, but he didn't have Vaishnav humility, so somehow he wasn't feeling low because of that. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he's like on the highest platform of devotional service, and he's really feeling like he has all.
But the difference is that Vina was not thinking himself like this. While he
Yes.
was like this, but he was not feeling like this. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he doesn't have these qualities, but he's feeling like this. This is a difference between Vena and Bhaktivinoda Thakur.
Nice, very good.
So we should become the follower of Bhaktivinoda Thakur and not the follower of King Vena.
And do you ever feel like, yes, I think my material desires, they have become less. Now I practice Krishna consciousness. And then somehow you get overwhelmed by some new thing is in your mind, in your heart, and you think, shoot, man, it's limitless. It just doesn't go away. Like it just like keeps coming back. So I like this. There are limitless material desires within the core of my heart. If we feel like this, then we definitely have to cry for the Lord's mercy, because how is it possible to end that like limitless factory of it's just like even sometimes new stuff comes up. I didn't even desire that before. Why do I desire?
Krishna is showing us that our ability to pretend is very limited. And he shows us that we think our material desires are not there. We say that, okay, I'm on top of everything. I'm managing my material desires. But when we least expect it, it really shows. And I was just reading this morning something, realization by someone, and said, I have tried for so long to pretend to be someone, but Krishna has so expertly exposed me for who I really am. It felt like an atomic bomb. So this was somebody's realization. I was just reading it this morning. It was extremely deep. So if we think that we have our material desires, we have it under control, Krishna is going to show us that in so many ways that we don't. And that's the one part. And then I was looking at the other part, bewildered by worldly affairs. Like right now, I'm seeing so many things about Chandrayaan-3 landing, a moon landing, and how we get so bewildered by these things. It really takes our focus off from what we are meant to do. Like we really become interested in these things, and we really look for updates and see what's going on. But Srila Prabhupada really wanted to protect us, to keep our focus. Yes, these things are going to go on. There's going to be developments, or things are going to happen in the world. But as devotees, our focus should be Krishna consciousness. We should not be deviated from these. Our attention should not be diverted.
Yeah, great comment. I also feel always bewildered. Like there's so many controversial political things that your mind can get involved in, different social things, sometimes, different arguments, even amongst the devotees, in our different sanghas, like in our families, with our friends, with our enemies. There's like so much. Actually, it's a little bit nonsense and prajalpa, and we just get our minds get absorbed in those things.
Yeah. So it's important how to recognize and hit the stop button, and recognize that we are getting swept away in the current of these worldly affairs, and we should become conscious of it and know how to actually stop, regroup, and refocus. Should always keep ourselves coming back.
Yes,
Prabhu.
Prabhu. Yes.
Oh, you sort of, please, you want to say something, please?
Yes, Prabhu. In the same line, I would like to add that every day we should be making an effort. Like me too, sometimes I think, okay, material desire is not that much. Then again, we see something, oh, like shopping, we do this, we want that, we go to look for this. Then then we are surprised, we say, from where this is coming from? Because, like it's really bewildering. There are so many things to be attracted to. But then I think it comes to our everyday sadhana. Like every day we should again put in the efforts, again seek the mercy of Krishna and the Vaishnavas to stay focused on our spiritual path, because it's very deluding, the attraction, everything in the world.
Wow. Right. Every day, and even I think more so at every moment. Every moment that we're not focused on hearing, on chanting, like chanting our Hare Krishna mantra, and hearing class, hearing from good devotees, um, and 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 remembering something Krishna conscious. Every time we let our mind go somewhere else and get lost in some mundane thing, it's actually like it's some deviation that the great devotees, they want to have their mind always absorbed. It's very difficult, but this is actually what our sadhana is meant to be. We're always absorbed, hearing, chanting, remembering the Lord, engaging in acts of service. That's our only hope for controlling the mind and making them. Rasikachana Prabhu, I'm sorry, you wanted to speak something, please. Please, Prabhu.
I was thinking of the pastimes with Lord Chaitanya and Prataprudra, King.
Yeah.
King Prataprudra. Also, the king was a good devotee, but Mahaprabhu hesitated to meet him because he was a king, and it's true. It's Mahaprabhu's instruction to us, like lesson to us, that he feared that associating with Prataprudra will deviate his mind, not for devotional service, or he will be contaminated as association with Prataprudra because he is a worldly man. So, in fact, this is true that when we meet devotees, our consciousness is different. But when we meet worldly people, like in office, I'm a taxman. When I meet the tax people, the mood becomes really different. So, yes, the moment we go away from association and devotional environment, of course, our mind will be grabbed by these negative thoughts and qualities. So, but the problem is that we have to be there with these people. Like my occupation, I have to meet these people. So that's true. We will be overcome by this negative influence. That's why Prabhupada tells us that you have to do your 16 rounds before moving out of the house, so that because we will be flooded with these things, so we can be protected by Krishna through his holy name.
Nice.
Every day. That's surely for people like us, because we have to be there out with these people who have all these things to give us back in our consciousness.
Right.
Prabhupada says, if you are not with Krishna, you will be with Maya.
True.
But we are there every day with these people. So my advice to everyone is that at least do at least a good bunch of Hare Krishna Mahamantra before you leave your home every day.
Good advice.
If not 16 rounds, but at least a good bunch, 10 or more, 12. That would be very good.
Yeah, I'm fond of exhibiting arrogance. It means like when I get little chance to show off, I will take that chance. Or intoxicated vanity means like, why should I be vain? But I think like everyone should look at me for something. A little bit we have this tendency. I'm seeing this tendency in myself. Just he's pointing it out. It's very true.
Prabhu,
I
adding to what I'm sorry to interrupt you.
What? No, you didn't. Go ahead.
Adding to what Shamarani Mataji said, while she was saying about the deviation, one thing I remembered that what I was listening to Brihad Bhagavat Maharaj lecture, and he said that one of the greatest deviation in our life is the social media. Social media makes us to deviate everything. We even have the tendency to even forget to do our prescribed rounds, or to even perform our duty as a devotee.
100% true. Yes, that's social media is a way to easily get a lot of bad. It's easily available.
But then there's the example. There's the example of the knife, right? So you can use a knife to cut fruit for Krishna, or you can use it to kill someone. So this social media, like this technology, we are using to associate with each other. So it's very beneficial for us right now. So it also depends on us and our control we have over these things.
100% that's true. 100%. And social media can be used for preaching purposes also. But we should generally, we have to be a little careful. You know, we have reasons that we think, yes, we can be on social media, but we should not be naive. There is unlimited scope for bad association there. And bad association, like Rasika Chandra Prabhu was saying, this will contaminate our minds, bring us more into material consciousness. So just we can say that, yes, I'm using for preaching, but is it 100% or is it 99% or how much percent is it? Is it like, are we mixing with just our own personal stuff? I have to admit, I'm not 100% pure in my approach to social media. Something I tried to speak about Krishna on social media, but also something I'm taking for my own sense gratification. And I should be humble about that.
The subtleties.
We all have it, Prabhu.
We all have it, yes, correct.
Okay, let's look at stanza number 4. Unless anybody else, like, I don't know who is there, Seaburn or Bhumi or Habiti. If anyone would like to share something, we would love to hear from you if you have any thoughts.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hey,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, what I can perceive from this, it's the introspection. I think the demarcation between us and everyone is the realization that we have, and being able to realize these things and get a good perception out of this. It's being able to improve and having a sense of humility, and therefore being able to serve more if we have more humility. It's also it's like a process. Once you realize these things, and then you can move forward to pray to Krishna to kind of separate you from all these things. Like we pray Nadhanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Bhajgari Sakamaya Mama Janmani Janmani Share. It's like a process. First and foremost, you realize these things, and then afterwards you pray to the Lord to be able to surrender to to the devotees and to the Lord Himself.
Very nice. Yes, introspection. Thank you. That's what we want. Should introspect. Very nice. Should we go on, or does anybody have any other thoughts? Okay, let's look at fourth stanza. Ruined by laziness and sleep, I resist all pious deeds, yet am very enthusiastic to perform wicked acts. For the sake of worldly fame and reputation, I engage in the practice of deceitfulness. I am victimized by my own greed. Okay, please repeat. First out loud. Ruined by laziness and sleep.
Ruined by laziness and sleep.
Sleep.
Resist all pious deeds.
I resist all pious deeds.
Yet am very enthusiastic to perform wicked acts.
Yet I'm very enthusiastic
I
to
am
perform
very
For the sake of worldly fame and reputation, I engage in the practice of deceitfulness.
for the
For the
sake of
sake
worldly
of
fame.
worldly fame and reputation,
and
I engage in the practice of
reputation. I
deceitfulness.
engage in the practice of deceitfulness.
I am victimized by my own greed, being always
I am
I'm
victimized by my
victimized
own
by my
greed,
own greed,
Victim of
being always
greed.
lustful.
Okay, let's repeat phrase by phrase in the mind 3 times. We will repeat in the mind. Ruined by laziness and sleep, I resist all pious deeds. Yet am very enthusiastic to perform wicked acts. For the sake of worldly fame and reputation, I engage in the practice of deceitfulness. I am victimized by my own greed, being always lustful. Well, I'm totally guilty. Anyone have any thoughts, reflections about some of these comments?
No words, bro.
Say again? No words? Is that what you said?
Yeah, that's all I can say. It has such a deep impact, especially on me.
Yes, say more. Say more. Say more about that impact.
It makes me realize that I'm I'm I'm, I'm like that. Like I'm always like a lazy and like to sleep more. And I'm not very enthusiastic to perform pious deeds. And I'm even trying to like even gain worldly fame and reputation.
Yes, we have this tendency, right? Even in devotee community, we want everyone to know I am a good mridanga player, I am a good singer, I'm a good speaker, I am nice pujari, I'm a good cook, I'm a good manager, I'm a good fundraiser, I'm good at cleaning, I'm good at organizing something. All this kind of stuff, even in our devotional service, it is there, it is contaminating. I am always lazy and sleepy, and it is pious to go to Mangal Artik, but I'm ruined by this laziness. And so sometimes I just skip. This is a big, big mistake. Yet I'm very enthusiastic to perform wicked acts. This is 100% true. There's some material desire in my mind that I will stay up for, that I will wake up early for, that the sleep doesn't stop me from from that. Yes, Yasoda, you want to say something?
Yes, Prabhu. You know, when I'm reading this verse, I'm amazed by how humble Bhaktivinoda Thakur is. Like, this is the peak of humility of all persons. Like, he cannot be like what he's saying, but he's like how he's recognizing so many faults in himself when he doesn't have any. And whereas for us, it's like, for me, it's like a reality check. I'm seeing so many things in the different verses. So that's why I'm so silent today because I realized that there's so many things to improve on.
I think Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he had some incredible schedule where he would wake up so early in the morning and he would write books. He was the author of so many important books. And so for years he would wake up very early to do his writing. Still we're benefiting from his preaching that he woke up and he wrote, so that we can benefit now and learn something about Krishna consciousness. And he had his sadhana. It's like describes how he memorized so many shlokas. He was meditating, chanting those shlokas, and then he was like an extremely responsible person working as the district magistrate. He's like actually genius level person that was so highly qualified and competent, and he had like an extremely responsible position. Imagine he has to have all the facts of the different cases in his mind. This person is guilty, this one is not guilty, how much we have to punish this person, how lenient should we be. He has to like decide all of these very difficult problems, and he's doing all of these things, and he's blaming himself for being lazy. And I don't do a damn thing, and I don't think I'm so lazy.
And he had a very regulated eating habit. He wouldn't just eat anything at any time. He was very, and that contributes actually, I feel, to laziness and sleep, the way we eat. That's something I need to work on actually.
I also need to work so much on this. Hey, Aditi, can you please share something?
Like Bhaktivinoda Thakur used to say, we have to divide our time in such a way, like 8 hours for body, 8 hours for Krishna, and 8 hours for work. This is, we should actually try to implement this, but it seems like a really fall because 8 hours for work itself takes like drastically many. It's 8 hours for work, 8 hours for sleep. It seems like really fall for us. we should try to adapt our schedule accordingly. Then we'll be able to progress. But we should not like try to fake it. We should like for instance, in the morning we have a tendency to think that many of the things will lead to our downfall in bhakti, but the biggest hindrance in our path is our own laziness. For instance, if we conquer and combat our morning sleep, we can easily sail through the path of the bhakti. To stop the alarm, to snooze in the morning itself is a big deal.
Nice. Nice. Rasika Chandra Prabhu, can you speak something?
I'm just reflecting, Prabhu. Nothing to say. It's all there.
Yeah.
And it's our reflection. Oh, how we are. But never think about this.
Right, that's it. I'm looking for the sake of worldly fame and reputation. I engage in the practice of deceitfulness. You know, even in Krishna consciousness, we can just take our own temperature. Are we like this? Like, you know, we making a little bit of a show so that everybody can understand? Oh, he's a nice devotee.
Yes.
Just want this fame, just to have this nice reputation. We're cheating a little bit, cutting corners, making trying to take the shortcut. So that so that we have our good reputation. It's very heavy comment. It's very heavy. But it's like hitting the nail on the head. Yes, this is the problem. This is the disease. This is the weed in our consciousness.
We are not able to distinguish between the good bhakti lata and the weeds. Go for the same. And sometimes a weed, we think this is mine, this is a bhakti lata. But in fact, it is a weed.
Wow, say more. Say more. When do you say more how you feel this?
Pardon? No, like
more.
Maybe I give one example. Like when we do things in Krishna consciousness, when things go right, so we feel, wow, I'm doing things good. And in fact, this is a weed, because this makes us develop the like we want the fame and we want recognition, even through our Krishna conscious deeds. So this is in fact is the growing of a weed which can destroy our life, Krishna conscious life. So we are not able to distinguish that. If I feel like this is not good, I say, okay, it's good because I'm doing some good deeds in Krishna consciousness and I feel like this. It's okay, it's not a problem. So if you're not fully Krishna conscious, that will become, and we will not be able to distinguish the weeds and the bhakti lata. When we house these weeds, everything's good, it's me. When it's bad, it's Krishna's plan. But it's Krishna's desire to go that way. And this involves the weeds.
True.
You can speak on this, Prabhu. I know you have many things to tell us.
I just blabbermouth sometimes. Yeah, sometimes we're taking like some kind of external success as some sign of like spiritual development and accomplishment. But it may not be like that. Maybe just, Krishna blessed some endeavor, and so some things were good, but we should stay in our mind, we should be very humble about it. It's not that I'm a good devotee or I'm a big devotee now. Just somehow I was lucky to participate with some project that is doing nicely, but it is not the real mark of devotion and of spiritual development. The real mark of those things are how much are we following like Trinadapi Sunichena? How much are we really humble? How much are we respectful? How much duality in this material world can we tolerate? Like I have no tolerance if something isn't going my way. If like I have a health problem, there's some conflict, I can get irritated so easily. It's because I don't have this tolerance. So just because I was in some nice kirtan program, now I should think I'm advanced? No, it is a mistake. It is like what you said. It is like mistaking the weed for the bhakti lata. The bhakti lata is very weak and small, and the weed is very big. And like sometimes I'm thinking like, oh, it's a good weed actually. No, not true.
Prabhu, I just wanted to say that, really dissecting all of these bhajans, and we're really finding that the mood of these great devotees, and maybe we get a feeling like, oh, I wish they were here so I could learn from these devotees directly, but they are not here. That example is not here. But actually, if we really look very nicely, very deeply, we do have devotees who are extremely senior and they do possess this type of mood. We just need to be able to recognize it and really go after the nectar in that way. It's not like we're devoid of this type of association. It may not be on that type of a high level, but they should be able to help us. We should just recognize we do have these devotees among us. And actually, I'm saying this because right now we are sharing experiences on a group about a particular devotee who has really, really touched the lives of so many devotees in Mauritius. And the underlying topic that is coming forth in those discussions is the humility of this devotee and his qualities that has enabled him to be in that position that he is today, and so many devotees valuing him. And so my point is, we do have these type of devotee with these mood. We should look for it, and we should really try to learn from them.
Very nice. That's very nice. Yeah, definitely we can appreciate so many gifts that we have from Prabhupada, and that includes the devotees, includes their teachings and their books, and actually we have endless stream to drink from. That's very nice that you can see that. Wow.
I'm looking forward to get the book, Prabhu. So I'm looking forward to get the book. I just asked Yastanandan today that if we have it at home.
Oh, this
I've
book,
never bothered about it. Yes.
Oh, Sharanagati, for what it's worth, like these English translations, actually you can find everything online. I can show you couple of websites. These translations are, to me, I prefer them. There's like these translations, they were done by a disciple of Srila Prabhupada named Dasarath Sutta Prabhu, and the translation is very nicely done. And Mother Yamuna, she would also like these translations. That's why I'm fixed on these translations. I think they're very sweet. The whole thing is online, and I can send links for that. And even like KK songs, you know that site, it has many bhajan. That all these songs are there also, but the translation is not so fine and perfect like these. But anyway, I'll show you. But definitely having this book, it's very good. It's very good.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Also,
you.
also, if you could share the link where you're getting these meanings of these Vaishnav songs, because I have a book, Vaishnav songs compiled by the devotees at ISKCON Chaupati, and their translations are completely different to these. Not completely, the essence is there, but the words are totally different.
Yeah,
So
yeah, right. It can be a little bit different translation. So I can put in like the WhatsApp chat. I'll put a few links of where to find these things online, and someone else may find more, but I'll just show you the ones that I know.
Yes, sir.
Now there's very good websites where you can find like whole library of Vaishnav bhajans. Okay, let's just look at the last
No,
verses.
only for the last.
Number 5. A vile, wicked man such as this, rejected by godly people, is a constant offender, devoid of all good works, forever inclined toward evil. He is worn out and weighted by various misery. Wow. Okay, let's please repeat. A vile, wicked man such as this.
A vile, wicked man such as this,
such as this,
Rejected by godly people,
rejected by
rejected
godly
by godly people,
is a constant offender.
is a constant
is a
offender.
constant
Devoid of all good works, forever inclined toward evil.
Devoid
Devoid
of
of
all
all
good
good works,
works,
ever
forever
inclined
inclined
toward
toward evil.
Worn out and wasted by various miseries.
He
He
is
is worn
worn
out
out
and
and
wasted by
and
various
wasted
by
by
various
various
miseries.
miseries.
Yes, okay. Welcome. I just saw a few new people joined. So we will do an exercise now. We want to meditate on the meaning of Vaishnava prayers. So I will read phrase by phrase this same stanza. And what I'd like everybody to do is just like you repeated them verbally, now I would like you to repeat them with the voice in your mind. Try to concentrate, absorb the meaning as far as possible by remembering this in your mind. I will speak the phrase, and then you can repeat it in your mind 3 times. The idea is that we want to absorb the truth of these prayers as far as possible. A vile, wicked man such as this, rejected by godly people, is a constant offender, devoid of all good works, forever inclined toward evil. He is worn out and wasted by various miseries. I think this is some of the strongest language yet. A vile, wicked man such as this. That's how Bhaktivinoda Thakur is calling himself. Forever inclined toward evil. It's very, very strong. Some reflections, some comments on the stanza. Yes, Mataji, you want to
So
speak?
I was just thinking that we don't see ourselves like this. We don't see ourselves as being rejected or that we are wicked or anything, because in a society of devotees, as you learn that you have to be humble and you have to be careful of committing offenses, and we become more aware of Vaishnav etiquette, then generally devotees become very tolerant. And even when we are committing offenses, even when we are being wicked in a sense, and people are like, keeping a distance from us, like they're choosing to um, give their association to us and not take our association, we don't understand this, so we think how great we are. For me, I find that this is I see it happening, and I always wonder, like, to what extent are we then, how to be genuine, and how, for me, it's difficult to find a balance, because these are some of the things that I see happening and that we experience. So in that way, when where devotees are so kind and compassionate, and they so scared of committing all these offenses, so I find that maybe there's some level of falsity. I'm not sure how to really understand that so well.
Hmm. That's a nice question or nice thought. I think that, this kind of bhajan, it is really, like someone had said before, it is for our own personal, deep introspection. It may not, I don't think we can use this to like fault other devotees, like how come they're not so humble like Bhaktivinoda Thakur.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, if people are like behaving nicely and, that they have some respect, then okay, naturally we shouldn't expect all the devotees to always be like, just absolutely in utter humility. But I think it is very healthy for us to like spend quality time reflecting on this, meditating on this, and introspecting about this, because individually we want to improve ourselves, and imbibe like humility at a deeper level. So I wouldn't think that, we have to find fault that how come the devotees aren't so humble like this, but we should just find fault with ourselves. How come I'm not humble like this?
Yeah.
I think you.
Can,
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
can you imagine a society where everyone is thinking like that? What will happen to that society? What will happen to that society?
Yeah.
It will become heaven.
True. Even my stepfather used to tell me that, like, for someone who is successful, for someone who's getting things done, a little bit ego, a little bit arrogance, it's very important. They have to have this, otherwise they can't do their work. It's true. In our society, we have to manage so many things in the temple and so many programs. Someone should have little ego also, otherwise how can we do anything?
Yeah.
Somehow Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he's writing so many books. He did so much incredible service to the Vaishnav community. I understood he was speaking, giving class. Somehow he's balancing, but in his heart, in his mind, he can feel this kind of mood also. Sorry, some more comments?
One lesson to take from this verse is that if we live such a life, and the conclusion is that we will be worn out and wasted by the various miseries, that is, the conclusion will be that we will become miserable at the end of the day. It's my reading of this verse, that nothing good will come out of leading such a life.
You know, just another thought. That's very nice comment. Just another thought that's coming to me is that, you know, Sharanagati, ultimately, it's about our relationship with the Lord. So before the Lord, we should know that our position is extremely low, and we are very fallen, we are very contaminated. But exactly that mood may not be reflected in all of our dealings with others. I think it will, yeah, like Prabhu said, how will we have a society, actually? Yeah, but your last comment is excellent. The more we stay in this material consciousness, then 100% we will have to be worn out and wasted by miseries.
Prabhu?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, Prabhu, go on.
Sometimes while we are in this material consciousness, sometimes we tend to we want all the credits on ourselves. Like, okay, I've done this, yeah, I need to get the credits. I've done it. And this is what Bhaktivinoda Thakur is showing us, what will happen if we are in this material consciousness. Like he's showing the consequence, what will go on, what will be going on.
Very good.
In some way, he's like to alert us of the consequences.
Very good. Yes.
But here, once again, I want to stress that Bhaktivinoda Thakur is not saying this for us. He is feeling like this.
He's feeling like this.
And we have to take the lesson, but I think he is feeling like this.
Aditi, you had said that you would like to say something. Please say something.
Like we possess all these bad qualities. For instance, we have all the material desires within the core of our hearts, but being rejected by godly people in our society, the godly people are our own spiritual master who have held our hand tightly, and we are not we don't feel rejected in this way, because even though we possess all these bad qualifications, we are not rejected by these godly people. This is, in fact, this is a boon we have in this society.
Nice. Although the mood is like that. But actually, the godly people should not like me, but somehow they like me, or somehow they're merciful to me. Okay, time is running. Let's just look at the final stanza, and I think it's very important also. Now in old age, deprived of all means of relief, thus humbled and poor, Bhaktivinoda submits his tale of grief at the feet of the Supreme Lord. Please repeat. Now in old age, deprived of all means of relief.
Now in old age,
deprived all means of relief.
Thus humbled and poor.
Thus humbled
and poor.
Bhaktivinoda submits his tale of grief at the feet of the Supreme Lord.
Bhaktivinoda submits his tale of grief at the feet of the Supreme Lord.
Now let's repeat my mind. Now in old age, deprived of all means of relief. Thus humbled still. Bhaktivinoda submits his tale of grief at the feet of the Supreme Lord. I think this last line is very important because in his mood of surrender to the Lord, he has all of this very, very deep, deep humility. It is in that relationship, especially, that this, like absolute self-deprecation is there. Maybe not in all regular, ordinary, worldly relationships. It is so impractical, maybe. But at the feet of the Lord, we have this absolute feeling of total worthlessness. I'm a wicked man. At the feet of the Lord, this is the Vaishnav mood. I think this very important clarifies like that. He submits this tale of grief at the feet of the Lord. Some comments or reflections about this? Yes,
Prabhu,
Prabhu.
this version is a bit similar to Gopinath. The mood, the way Bhaktivinoda Thakur is like expressing himself to the Lord is a bit like Gopinath.
True. I agree. This theme of humility is coming again and again in different ways. Very true.
Prabhu, this last verse, it's like Bhaktivinoda Thakur is giving himself totally to Krishna. It's like Atmani Vedana. Like he's giving his tale of grief at the Lord of the Lotus feet. He has nothing else. He's deprived of everything. Now he's giving himself to Krishna. That's the loss.
True. Yes. He's giving like his full confession. Like in the Christian religion, they confess to the priest, I did so much wrong, I did this wrong, I did that wrong. It's very important, like religious, spiritual mindset, to have this humility. It's the first principle of Sharanagati, Dainya, humility at the feet of the Lord. So Bhaktivinoda is showing like how deep, how heavy that mood is that we actually have to cultivate. Chandra Prabhu?
This is what Krishna wants from us. He has set the bar very high. So without the surrender, without admitting our own wrongs, without being like what I say, without being, I don't have the words, but I want to tell you that we have to, at the end of the day, we have to submit ourselves to Krishna, and without such kind of feelings, we will not be able to submit to Krishna. Without feeling that we are such lowly beings, we will not be able to surrender to Krishna. Like until Jagai and Madhai did not submit that they are a wicked person, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not accept them. So this is a high level of bar which Krishna wants from us. Like if we read the pastimes of Draupadi, until she raised both hands, Krishna didn't come. So this is what Krishna is expecting from us, and we have to work for that. The goal is very far away. Not a glimpse. I'm not a glimpse of it we can see from now. It's still like very, 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 very far. But this is where we have to go at the end of the day.
Wow.
Yes, Prabhu, in the verse it also says that now in old age deprived of all means of relief. It's like referring when we are young, we have everything. We have like education. We are like everything is good. Everything is working fine. You have no like big worries. But then when you are deprived of all this, suppose you have stopped working. I don't know. You don't know how to sing that much. Everything is gone. Then you realize you are humble and poor, and that's when you turn to Krishna. So the earlier we realize, the better it is for us from now itself.
Very good. Very nice.
Yes, Prabhu. I was thinking about similar how she is explaining different levels of intelligence we possess that's discussed in Bhagavad Gita. So right now we're hearing so many things that we hear while you're young, use your youthfulness, serve Krishna. We can make a lot of effort to really sit and chant nicely, so many facility to be able to do that. To put every effort into developing relationships, devotional service, to do as much as we can, but we really don't understand it, that intelligence is not really there, that if we hear something that we can just understand it so nicely. So we go all through life and we keep on hearing the same thing, but somehow we're sort of reluctant to really grasp it fully and to really surrender. So it makes that's what I was thinking about, the levels of intelligence, that maybe I'm not so intelligent to really understand all of these things, and we can take a lesson from this, try harder not to have a trail of grief at the end of life, to offer at the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, that later on in life we say, oh, I knew this, but I didn't, actually make a conscious effort, try harder now to be able to do things. That brings me to, so how can we really fully understand these things and really get into that mood of surrender from now, not wait till we so poor in life that whatever we offer to Krishna, it will be like, at the end of life when we have nothing else to do than returning to Krishna. It feels like we have ignored this one supreme, most important person in our life, all our life. And at the end of the life, when we have nothing and everyone has abandoned us, then we're looking to Krishna. Not sure if that's making sense or anything, but
well, I think now Bhaktivinoda Thakur, just like from this bhajan, he's teaching us how we can approach the Lord, and we can do this right now. We have this prayer, we can just recite this prayer in front of the Lord. we can, you know, go to the deity, we can recite this prayer and chant the holy name and try to, you know, approach the Lord with this kind of mood. Um, yeah, and we will feel, I wasted my life, I spoiled my life. Instead of doing Krishna consciousness, I just knowingly drank the poison of sense gratification. I will feel that. But by approaching the Lord like in this mood, then that is our success. That's our spiritual victory, that we didn't let our lives go just completely oblivious about Krishna, but we remembered Krishna and we approached him with the mood that our acharyas are teaching us, this mood of absolute humility. So the more we can take shelter of this, then the more that is our spiritual success. And the more we are forgetting about this, then that's our fortune.
And
Hey,
that's the thing. At one, sorry, Prabhu, at one moment we're so motivated. We're so motivated and we're really fired up to do things. And the very next second, we need so much to be able to get back to that enthusiasm. Because, you know, we don't, it's not a constant. It doesn't remain like that. So I find that it keeps on, the graph keeps on peaking and dropping, you know, like we have great times and then it goes down and up. It's difficult to maintain that constant, you know, that to continue like this in a very enthusiastic way with full consciousness. You know, things happen. We are living in a world where things happen in our lives. So it's not so easy. I mean, it's there, we understand it, but the struggle is great.
100%. Hey, there's a comment from Varshana Rani to the group. Hare Krishna, this verse also teaches us of how only Krishna consciousness can save us from this material world's suffering, and Krishna is our eternal savior. Humility of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur shows us of how we should be as devotees, how sincerely we should surrender to the Lordship. Very nice. So maybe any last words? Anyone has any final thoughts? I'm just seeing that there. Yes, Yasoda, please.
Yes, Prabhu, thank you so much for making us like meditate on these bhajans like Gopinath, then Kabe Habe Bolo, then this one. It's like truly a wake-up call because, you know, during the days when the class get over, every day these lyrics are playing in my mind. And you know, now like it's really wonderful that we get to realize on which mood we should be really. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Rasika Chandra Prabhu, sorry to cut you off. Please, Prabhu.
No. I was just telling you that the success of our life is that how much you can cry for Krishna. So these other feelings will make us cry for Krishna. If we don't develop such type of feelings, the crying will not come.
Correct. Wow. What a great way to end this session. So many great comments in this session. I'm so grateful to all of you. This was really, really sweet.
Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu.
Actually, these bhajans really helps us like to understand in what way we should pray to Krishna to get his mercy. Because in our own way, we won't do that. We won't be able to do that. We don't have the capacity to do it. But with our Acharya's mercy, with these bhajans, we can do it. We can express ourselves to the Lord.
Correct. Very good. Very correct. 100%. Well said. Very nice. This is one thing. Anyway, one reason I wanted to, actually, I myself wanted to really spend time meditating on this. I'm so grateful to all of you that we could spend some time trying to focus on this very deep and beautiful devotional mood. Also, just I know a very like beautiful and sweet melody for singing this bhajan, and so we will look at that next time. It's based on like a very beautiful classical Indian raga, the tune that I know, and I think we will all be enriched, coming closer to this prayer and to this song, and we can sing it. And if devotees are feeling like they can sometimes sing this in their lives, in their devotional services, then I think it's very nice. Yes. How are we supposed to approach Krishna? Our acharyas are showing this. They're leading the way. Okay, thank you
We are
all
looking
so
for
much.
that, Prabhu. We are
Thank
looking
you all.
for Wednesday.
Okay, I'm also looking forward. Great. Okay, it's getting a little late on my side, and for all of you, thank you for all of your patience and all of your time. Really appreciate
Yes,
it.
Lord.
Right.
Yes, Lord. You're actually in India, Prabhu?
Yeah, now I came back to India. So before I was on an
Oh,
earlier,
it's late, 10:30.
now it's like 10:30.
So we are so grateful to you, Prabhu. You are staying till late. You are staying because of us.
No, it is my
It's your
privilege and my pleasure. I'm enjoying actually so much. Thank you.
Yes, Prabhu.
We're
Yes,
also
Prabhu.
enjoying
Thank you very
Hare
much.
Krishna.
Very well, thank
Hare
you.
Krishna, Prabhu.
Very well.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.